Call of Duty might have finally fixed the cheater problem in Warzone 2. They recently released a blog post about the Ricochet anti-cheat updates with this Season 3 update. And we all know there are some days where Ricochet feels absolutely non-existent and other days where you don't even meet a single cheater. But now they threw out a lot of info how they are actually battling cheaters, what they intend to do in the future, and that they're cracking down on third-party devices like Cronus Max and Cronus Zen. And there's one very important thing they mentioned they will take care of, and that is removing people from the leaderboard. Warzone 3 Ranked is coming, and Modern Warfare 2 Ranked is out as well, and they will finally start removing cheaters from the leaderboard. One thing I've always asked myself in Warzone, if that guy is obviously, there's no way he's not cheating, like 50 KD, 1,000 wins, 0 death whatsoever, why is he in the leaderboard? It might be a minimal thing, but these guys are getting ripped of their recognition as well from that point of view. Now, what will be done to actually combat cheaters? There's various mitigations they are doing in Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. One is called the cloaking. That is the process of hiding the legitimate player from the cheating player. So if the cheater with any kind of third-party tool starts shooting at you, having weird recoil patterns, looking through walls, whatsoever, the legitimate player just vanishes from the field of view. So you were shooting someone just a second before, he doesn't exist anymore for the cheater. Can't imagine that to be extremely frustrating, especially when you're used to your cheats just destroying everyone left and right. Another one, and this one might be my favorite, is the disarming, where the cheater just loses their weapon. Imagine trying to aimbot someone through the wall or whatsoever, and suddenly your weapons are just gone. Forever, you're just not able to have weapons anymore. So not only do the people vanish from your field of view when you're cheating, no, you're also getting disarmed. And why are they actually doing these features instead of just throwing the player straight out of the live match? It's very simple. Because this allows them to gather more data about the cheats, especially because they mention there's a new way how they're cracking down on it. And I don't know why they didn't have this before, but they're finally saving replays. Every single match being played in Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer and Warzone 2 will be saved as a replay, captured and stored, so it can be probably reviewed by the team if there are reports, but I would assume that they're also having some AI just run over it and look for patterns. What I'm hoping for end of the day is that replay data will also be visible for us, because how cool would it be as if you could be in PUBG, go into your replays to rewatch your matches live, and don't have to record everything, especially if you can jump between the views of every single player to create some truly astonishing gameplay montages. Now, a third mitigation, and you might have noticed that already because I had it 2 times so far in Warzone, it's called the damage shield. The process of providing legitimate players with a protective barrier against cheaters. I was being absolutely blasted as I was crossing from one building to the other. Curiously, I was not taking a single point of damage. It was, okay, but what are you doing, Timmy? Turns out he was a cheater. So some of these things are already in place and they're working, especially the damage shield, but they're getting harder. But they're cracking down harder on the cheaters with this Season 3 update. And I assume it's already rolling out gradually right now. They're kind of like saying the Season 3 update, but let's be real. Ricochet is in the background. They're probably just updating it on the fly. Now, the next most interesting thing, third-party hardware device detection. What are third-party hardwares people have been using? That's a Zim or Cronus Max Zen. These are tools to essentially put between your input device, and that's controller or mouse and keyboard, and the PC or console. So it can be used on both gaming devices. And what they do is, for example, for mouse and keyboard, you could be a controller player. Yes, so you can get aim assist on mouse and keyboard with these tools, as you can also get yourself rapid fire macros. You have the DMR from back in the days or any single fire gun, well, you can make it full auto now with this aim assist times 10, whatever you're looking for. There's also no recoil scripts where the Cronus essentially resets the point of your aim always to the middle of the screen. So it's like an aimbot, but like a hardware aimbot. Now, if you're trying to actually play with these devices, it will give you a warning. Unsupported device detected, which is a little bit crazy for me because they're actually handing out warnings. a couple first. You can't actually play with this anymore. So as soon as you get that warning, you cannot play anymore. And if you keep getting that warning, at some point you will be banned for using third-party devices. So right now with this in play, I just know that they know how many people are actually using Cronus Max and Cronus 10 that they choose to warn players instead of actually banning them straight away. Now, I've seen screenshots on Reddit already and in Discords where people have been essentially saying, oh no, why can't I play anymore? I'm getting this weird ass warning. This one is a minor one, but I do like to see that they are actually mentioning it, and that's additional behavior warning. Account boosting, game glitching, or exploiting and player griefing are in opposition to the Call of Duty security enforcement policy and the code of conduct. Players that engage in these behaviors will see in-game warnings detailing these offenses. If these behaviors persist, accounts may be subject to additional warnings and penalties, including game or feature suspension, progression reset, and more. Now, it's a little bit vague because they're not saying they're outright banning people for stuff, but this is very important. Like someone getting an unlock tool to get themselves the one-shot sniper, yeah, that's straight up bannable offense, but now we actually have it written down here. The same goes for people that unlock themselves Orion or other camos that get that on their account and they're not supposed to have it. If it's detected, it might just get reset and you might fight further penalties, plus minus a ban if you really keep on doing it. It's just nice to see them acknowledge it, even though they're not outright being too harsh on cracking down on people, which seems that they really know how many people are doing this kind of stuff. Because obviously cheating, ruining other people's games, that's the biggest problem. You don't want to get killed out of the game. People giving themselves Orion camo is a meta problem because people that put in the work feel devalued and lose the fun of doing it if everyone just cheats themselves in. But it's not as big of a problem as actual cheaters. Still, it needs to be acknowledged and it needs to be taken care of. Now a reality check. Do I believe this will solve cheating? Never. Cheating will never be solved because cheat providers, they have one single job, and that's continuously trying to find ways to get through the anti-cheat. That's how they make money, and it's always an uphill battle. You have the anti-cheat working, the cheaters then making something work again, and the anti-cheat cracking down on that, vice versa. So it goes on and on and on. It is just nice to see that they finally bring out an update and talk about these things, and that they seem to be getting ahead of the game at least a little bit. All in all, for me personally, to the time I play, which is from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. European time, I don't have many cheaters, if at all cheaters. What I genuinely recommend you is, let's say you can only play in the American evening, you might have to VPN to the EU servers to play morning EU servers. If you can only play in the EU evening, VPN to the morning NA servers. It might ruin your ping, but in the morning traditionally, or in the morning hours until like 2 p.m. or so, cheaters are usually less. Now sounds stupid that you would have to VPN to maybe avoid cheaters, but realistically, that's what you might have to do if you really face a huge problem. Now, if you're playing on the Asian servers or around Australia and the Asian servers, I'm sorry, you might have to face more cheaters. This is not a racist remark. It's just a matter of experience at this point that we are actually getting people with Chinese comms on the EU servers that are cheating. And it's always funny when you shoot someone and he has symbol names and suddenly you hear Chinese or Japanese or whatever language in the voice comes being talked. I hope you're all properly excited for Warzone Season 3 and you're ready to talk with me about the balance of sniper rifles.